I'm pleased once again to be joined by the general manager of the Albany Panthers, Will Carter, and we're going to talk about the home stretch of the 2013 season for the Panthers. And thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
And first up, the Panthers' latest loss in their fourth in a row on the road on Saturday, May 18th, losing on the last-second field goal to Lehigh Valley Steelhawks in Pennsylvania. Final score, Lehigh Valley 49 and the Panthers 47. So, and obviously, for whatever reason, the Panthers have seen the struggle on the road, and you did get to win that first game of the season on the road against Louisiana, but obviously, it's just yet another tough loss for this Panthers team.
Yeah, unfortunately right now we're not playing solid football. We're not playing good football right now. The difference between this year's team and last year's championships team and the year before is that we're not making plays at opportunistic times this year. I can recall two plays during the Lehigh Valley game to where Antoine Savage dropped a touchdown pass. The next play, Cecil Usher throws an interception. So you can fault Cecil for throwing that interception. But prior to, if we caught the touchdown pass, it's a difference maker. Also earlier in the second quarter, driving to score before halftime against Lehigh Valley. It was fourth down. Cecil throws the ball to Johnny Lester. Johnny Lester corrals the ball. He has it, and he hits the ground, then he loses possession of the ball. Now, granted, it was a tough throw, but a ball that Johnny Lester should have caught. So another time. And then also another time in the game to where we had him on fourth down. The quarterback throws the ball across his body for a touchdown. So we're just not making the plays at ideal times this year, and that's the reason between winning and losing right now, especially on the road.
And in the most recent home game, you mentioned earlier, and the Panthers defeated the Louisiana Swashbucklers 50-41 on March 9th, the season opener for their only road win so far. And on May 11th, you opened the second half of the season with a big win over the Swashbucklers, 45-42. So obviously that was a big win, considering you own a tiebreaker over the Swashbucklers right now.
Yeah, right now it's still very early. You have a lot of teams. You have Alabama alone itself at 6-2, and then you have Richmond with 3 losses, and you have a few teams with 4 losses with Lehigh, Albany, and Louisiana. So it's very, very tight right now. These last 4 games will tell the difference in who makes the playoffs and who has the higher seeding than the other. The one positive thing about our situation is that we won 14 consecutive games at home dating back to 2010, and 3 of our last 4 games are at home, and the only road game is in Columbus, which is 75 miles up the road. So I like our chances at home.
And let's go to the PIFL standings. You see, the Alabama Hammers are 6-2 right now. They're in first place, and Richmond at 5-3, coming off a tough loss at Louisiana in double overtime, 68-66, in favor of the Swashbucklers. In double overtime last weekend on May 18th, Lehigh Valley 5-4 after the win over the Panthers, and the Panthers are 4-4 with a bye. And Louisiana also 4-4 with a bye, and they host Alabama. And Columbus Lions just 3-5, and having to go to Richmond this weekend. And the Knoxville Nighthawks are 2-7, and they go to Lehigh Valley, and despite upset wins over first place Alabama as well as over Albany, the Nighthawks are sitting in last place in the division. Yeah, so obviously there's a lot of parity in the league, and who knows? Who knows how these final 4 or 5 weeks will go?
Yeah, it's going to be exciting. Like I said, the teams are very evenly matched, and what's going to come down is to who makes the least amount of mistakes, who makes the least amount of turnovers. So those are things will be the difference between winning and losing. The teams are so evenly matched. You got great coaches all across the league, and so it's going to come down to mistakes. Who makes the least amount of mistakes, and that's who's going to come out victorious.
And then let's go to the final 4 games of this season. And the Panthers return to action against the Richmond Raiders on Saturday, June 1st. And then, as mentioned earlier, the Panthers make one more road trip to Columbus to face the Lions on June 8th. And then back-to-back home games against the Lehigh Valley Steelhawks and the Columbus Lions on June 22nd, which would be the only game on that final week of the regular season, believe it or not. So, and having said that, seems like every game, the Panthers, will be playing against teams also have a lot to play for.
Yeah, I mean, right now, this is the last stretch of the season. You try to break your season down into, 4 quarters. And so this is the last quarter or last half of the season. And like I said earlier, is that we have 3 out of our last 4 games at home. June 1st will be a rematch of last year's championship game against the Richmond Raiders. So that will happen on the 1st. We'll get a rematch, then we'll get a chance to play Columbus in Columbus, and then a rematch of last week's game against Lehigh Valley, and then finishing up at home against Columbus. So this is going to be a great stretch, and it's going to tell a lot about our team. Like I said, the positive is that we got 3 out of our last 4 at home, and we have a veteran ball club. I mean, these guys have been here before. It's a matter of tightening up and mentally focusing and making the plays when it comes time to make a play. The old saying is big players make big-time plays, and so in crucial situations. So that's what we need, and I feel like our guys will get back on track.
And would you like to share any closing comments?
No, I would like to say, Albany and surrounding counties, we want to thank all of our fans and all of our sponsors. It's been a tough season. I mean, not the season that everyone expected. I mean, no one expected us to be sitting here at 4-4 through 8 games. But you have to realize that teams are getting better. There's film out on us. We won 2 consecutive championships. So every game for the opposing team is their Super Bowl. And so with that being said, we're going to get everybody's best shot. And so this is an area where we've been, and I feel comfortable with our football team and our coaching staff that we will come out victorious and go on a nice run.
Thank you, Will Carter, the general manager of the Albany Panthers. And a quick reminder that the next home game for the Albany Panthers is Saturday, June 1st against the Richmond Raiders. And the first of 4 straight games in the regular season, all in the month of June. And thank you once again, Will Carter, for being here.
Thanks for having me.